Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome to the Florida Person podcast for all your weird news that we found on the internet this week. My name's Jackie Schwartz,
My name's Meg Gallagher.
and we've got some great tales this week.
Yes, these my stories have to do about biting.
Florida
Florida person.
Florida
Florida person.
Florida
Florida person.
So what do you have for us this week?
So I have a very scary story involving a beloved animal, an animal I love very much. That's very
Oh,
cute.
no.
But I didn't know that they could bite.
Oh, no.
And this is from Japan. This is a story from news story from Japan, October 7th, 2022. Capybara at East Japan Safari Park bites 2 kids, leaving one with 9-stitch wound.
Oh my gosh, oh no, I love capybaras because they're just like giant guinea pigs.
Yeah.
It's just like a guinea pig that's the size of, like, I don't know, a sheepdog.
Yeah, and they're real calm usually. We saw a couple at like a little safari park recently, and they just were sitting there just eating their like lettuce.
Oh, I was like obsessed with them when I was a kid, and I love there's like some weird pet show. It's My Strange Obsession, where this woman's like obsessed with capybaras, and she basically doesn't even talk to her kids because they're like, she loves the capybaras more than us. But her like beloved capybara had died, and she got a new capybara, and this capybara, like the whole episode is just capybara just like kind of like shunning her, being like, I don't like you, you know.
Oh no.
But it's never a violent capybara. It's just kind of like she's trying to get it to sleep in the bed with her, and he's like, no.
I'm a capybara. Don't want to do it.
He wants like nothing to do with her, and it's both interesting, strange, and a little heartbreaking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this capybara, this is in Tomoika, Gunma. It says, a capybara at a safari park in this eastern Japan city bit 2 children in September, leaving one of them with a 9-stitch wound requiring 2 weeks to heal. Ooh, this is a very detailed story. Gunma Safari Park announced on October 6th that 2 children had been bitten by a capybara. They were attacked at a petting zoo section on September 25th and 27th, respectively. It is believed that the same female capybara injured them. The petting zoo section was not always staffed, and no employees were there at the time of the accidents. Pino, estimated at 8 years old and measuring 80 centimeters in length and 40 kilograms in weight, is believed to be the culprit. According to the park, Pino knocked over a 1-year-old boy who was visiting with 3 family members of the nearby city of Takasaki and bit him on the back after the infant cried out at around 11 a.m. on September 25th. Though the boy suffered bite marks, he did not bleed.
What? Wait, didn't you? Yes. You said he had to get stitches.
Well, that was on September 25th.
Oh, okay. This is a different boy. This is different.
Then, around 2 p.m. on September 27th, Pino stood up on her 2 hind legs and suddenly bit a 6-year-old girl from the nearby town of Kanra.
Oh my god.
At the time of the attack, her 3 family members were feeding the animal. The young victim suffered a 9-stitch wound from her left ear to the back of her head. The park transported her to the hospital and apologized to her parents.
Wow.
The park began to keep capybaras in 2011 and has 9 of them. They opened the petting zoo section in 2015, where visitors could touch some animals, including Pino. There had been no zookeepers there except for when feeding and cleaning the animals.
Well, that's a problem.
I think so.
I think even if the petting zoo just has like sheep and goats in it, I think you have to have somebody attending it, just for the sake of the animals, because you have kids. A lot of times parents aren't paying attention to their kids, and then the kid does something like pokes the animal in the eye or something. You need some supervision on your animals. Also, I mean, a goat can mess you up, you know?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. My sister was when she was 3, her parents and my parents, her parents and my parents are both the same parents.
Yeah, definitely.
Before I was born, so they were her parents and not my parents yet. They were at Busch Gardens and a llama like headbutted her and she went flying in the air. A similar thing to this.
Yeah, and animals are unpredictable, and even the ones that we would think, are you have like ponies and stuff at petting zoos a lot, and I've been kicked by a pony. I mean, it's probably not going to kill you, but it's going to hurt. It might kill a kid, but I don't know.
The park director, Shoji Kitamura, apologized, saying capybaras have sharp teeth on both their upper and lower jaws and may get excited during mating season. But when the biting incidents occurred, there were no such signs. We have to say that having assigned no zookeepers in the petting area because we felt secure thinking that nothing had happened before consequently led to the accidents. And there is a photo from I guess the press conference where they apologized, and there's 3 gentlemen and they are bowing.
Mm.
They are sorry.
I don't know. I'm gonna put this on negligence from the park. I mean, I know again, like I'm saying, you need to watch your kids and everything, but when I think there are live animals around with the public having access to touch them, you do need to have a representative human with the animals to,
Yeah.
even just there to protect the animals, just to say, hey, kid, you can't like climb on that, because they'll do it. They'll do it,
Yep.
and a lot of parents will not stop it. I would never have a petting zoo where I didn't have some supervision for my petting zoo.
Like a lifeguard.
Like a lifeguard. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking of it more in like the American way where I'm like, oh, like I don't want to be responsible if that sheep does like, smack a kid because it pulled its tail or something.
Golly.
So I would want to protect the animals and protect the park, and and at the same time you're protecting the visitors in that way. You do have, if anytime there's a live animal situation, you need to have somebody monitoring it to some extent. I'm
Circle of protection.
gonna be firm on that. Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Circle of protection should exist for both parties, all parties.
Oh yeah, yes, for sure. Because I mean, I've worked at like ranches and stuff where we've done like pony rides and things like that, and we didn't just, all right, have at it, bye.
See you later. Have fun with that
I
pony.
would like to pet a capybara. I wish there were capybaras at our petting zoos.
Oh, you don't have them?
I've never seen a capybara at a petting zoo. I've seen them at the zoo, but you've never been able to like pet one here.
Oh my gosh. My assistant is from Rio de Janeiro, and she says that there's capybara like how we have raccoons over here.
Oh, I would love that.
So you like see one.
Oh my god. I mean, I love seeing raccoons, so I would love seeing capybaras so much. How much fun is that? It's just a big old rodent. Oh, so cute. So cute. Well, I hope they don't like punish Pino for this. I don't think it was Pino's fault. I bet something was bothering her.
Yeah. I guess we won't
Yeah.
won't know until we get her side of the story.
Exactly. And if they had an attendant there, they could have seen what the whole situation was.
Yeah.
So, if you have a park, you really need to, come on, guys.
Well, I'm glad that they apologized. That was nice.
Sure, and I know like a Japanese apology is a lot more sincere than an American apology. Sorry they bit you.
Yeah. I mean, these guys look very
That's
sorry.
how we would do it. No, there would definitely just be like a lawsuit already in the works here.
Yes, exactly.
For sure. Well, let's move from one biting story to another. At least I know this one's different because this is happening in Germany. And this is Germany. Man bites police dog, woman punches officer.
Oh no.
Yeah, so this is a person biting a dog, which, it's usually the other way around, I feel like. But mixing it up, it's like this guy was like, "Da-na-na-na-na-na, remix, I bite the dog." Yeah. So this happened in Germany, which is also strange because I feel like the Germans are a little like more chilled out these days,
I bite the dog.
I mean, this sounds like a Florida story, so, but not. It's coming out of Berlin. So this was just the other day, October 14th, 2022. Police in Germany said Friday they detained a man for resisting arrest and biting a service dog.
Oh my gosh, the dog is at work
Yeah.
basically. Ugh.
The dog is just at work. The dog went to work that day, and I'm sure he didn't think that this day he was going to come in and be bitten by a full-grown man.
Oh, rude. That is a rude thing.
Officers were called to a dispute between two 29-year-old men and a 35-year-old woman in the western town of Jinsum Gustafsburg shortly after midnight. The trio acted in an extremely aggressive and uncooperative fashion, police said in a statement. Officers were only able to overpower one of the men by using massive physical force, it said.
Massive. Oh my god.
Yeah, massive. In the course of resisting arrest, the 29-year-old man also bit a police dog, the statement said, adding that the canine did not sustain any injuries. So it's a tough dog, but gross. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You
Why
know,
would you bite a dog?
I don't know. What a crazy dude. Meanwhile, the 35-year-old woman injured a police officer with a punch to the face.
Oh god.
All three were detained and spent the rest of the night in jail to sober up. The end.
The end. That's sober up. Oh god.
I mean, obviously, this was a drunk story, drunken debauchery, probably an Oktoberfest kind of deal where people had too much and then resorted to biting a police dog. Ugh.
That's really that's poor
How
dog.
do you even think that would work? Because when animals are covered in fuzz and fur and thicker skin.
Yeah. That dog
You
must
know,
have just
that's.
been very confused.
I bet that dog was like, "What the hell? What? What did you do? What? Get off me!" I bet it was a German Shepherd too, because it is Germany, and it was a police dog, and most police dogs are German Shepherds anyway. So
Never seen
unless
that.
they're labs, the funniest thing ever is to see like a lab police dog because they're still so derpy looking. They're just like, yeah.
Shit.
There was one lab like in the town I grew up in had a
Oh.
canine unit, and it was just one lab that would like sniff for
Just
pot. And it was just like one of those like white derpy labs
Oh
that would come to
gosh.
events and like sniff people's bags going through security, and it'd just be like, I wonder if there's weed in here.
Oh, I can't handle that. No, I can't handle that.
They just look so unserious. Like German Shepherds are like a proper serious looking dog, but Labradors are just not. I've seen like golden retriever police dogs too, and I'm like, what is that? It's too wholesome. Like that's not the right place. All right. Well, that was just like a little quick story, but I'm glad that we had 2 biters already.
Yes, we had 2 biters. This next one is a saga.
Okay.
It is a saga.
Okay, let me strap in right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is from Mail and Guardian, Africa's Best Read.
Oh.
And this is from October 4th, 2022 by Cherie Bega. Hippo pair caught after 6 months on the run in Middelburg. This is in South Africa. After months of evading capture, 2 vagrant hippos, Jumbo and Jacki,
Ooh.
spelled with the I-E.
Oh, so almost
to
like
be-
me. Almost like me. But also, I mean, I'm sort of a vagrant. I can't believe they called them vagrant hippos.
I know, vagrants.
So rude.
These vagabonds here.
Yeah.
They've been roaming parts of Middelburg, South Africa, have finally been caught and relocated to a secret, safer habitat. They were successfully captured. They've been rambling between Middelburg and Imalaheni. According to the MTPA, Jumbo the bull and Jacki the cow had been in the area for the last 6 months, frequently moving between dams and rivers from Witbank north to Kriel. We've never put this type of operation into place, like Witbank. This is a low-veld species, and nobody really captures hippos in South Africa. It's just too expensive. It was a collaboration between ourselves and private business people. We had to do something because the hippos were becoming a danger to humans and for themselves. We did this for the sake of the animals and to show that we still have the heart and capacity to do things like this. The hippos were first reported in a farm den on March 9th between Staffberg and Middelburg. Their presence was confirmed through photos on site visits. From then on, regular reports were received of the two hippos and their movements from concerned members of the public. Numerous people in the area were surprised and sometimes frightened, especially at night, seeing the hippos walking on the farm roads and then seeing them the next day settled in a farm dam.
Oh yeah, because they're like really dangerous and aggressive. They're so cute and like kind of like chubby and everything, and but that's deceiving. They kill more people than I think crocodiles and cheetahs and lions.
And sharks, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like I think hippos like kill. I think yeah. Besides like bees and other stuff that you wouldn't think kill so many people just because they're allergic or whatever. Hippos are like
Yeah.
up there. They're actually way further up there than anything in Africa that you would like assume could kill you.
Oh my gosh. At some stage, the presence of 3 hippos were reported in the area, but this too could not be confirmed, with recent sightings confirming only the 2 hippos. There was a thwarted attempt. The Wildlife Management Unit and Scientific Services Unit tried to capture them by darting them using chemical immobilization. However, during this attempt, the hippo bull attacked the boat, biting holes into the hull, which nearly sank the boat, giving the capture team quite a fright.
Ooh, yeah. I think so.
Once this is like, yeah, like, wow. These hippos were on the run for 6 months. Once let me see. Once the hippos were feeding readily on the lucerne provided, 3 strands of electric fence were erected around the dam to ensure they couldn't move from the dam. Oh, so they stayed with the food. They got them with the food. They put a little fence around them. Says last week, because of sheer persistence amid early seasonal rain and lightning, both hippos were finally captured, loaded into game crates, and transported to a safe habitat for relocation.
Oof.
They were slightly sedated to ensure less stress and for the safety of the animals during transport. Well, yeah, they'd probably bust through it with their huge jaws.
So they're really really powerful. I just looked this up. So just to have
Hippo
drop a
facts.
fact. Yeah,
Yeah.
here's a hippo fact real quick. This is coming from petpedia.co. And it says that hippos kill around 500 people a year.
Oh my.
Sharks on average kill only about 5 people a year. So it's a 100 times more than sharks.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, and it says a hippo's bite is strong enough to snap a crocodile in half.
Oh my lord.
It has a bite force of 12,600
Oh dear.
kPa or slightly above 1,800 psi. So, for comparison, a lion's bite is 4,500 PA, which is a third of that. It's 3 times more. A hippopotamus's bite force is 3 times more powerful than a lion's.
That's so scary. I think hippos are even scarier because hippos they can look really cute. And if they can look really
Yeah,
cute.
they're deceiving. They're deceiving. I've seen some very scary videos on YouTube of like people in like canoes or something, and they're like, "Oh no, there's a hippo up ahead," and then the hippo like can go really fast through the water and charges them, and they, oh yeah, could be very very scary.
Scary. Oh
I
my
don't like it at all. No, I like to look at them. There's 2 very cute hippos at the LA Zoo, and most of the time they're kind of just like walking around, and then they'll like roll in the mud and get in their little pool, and they look so cute and gentle, but they're just waiting.
Yeah, it's just waiting to snap a
Waiting
crocodile in
to
half.
Oh, that's terrifying. That's crazy. And it says that they are like mostly herbivores, but every once in a while
Don't
they'll
make
get
them mad.
they'll get some meat. going. They're ready to strike. Oh, hippos, get it. Oh, no. I'd like to see one, but like from the comfort of like a tank.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, if I'm on a safari or something, I think maybe you need to be in a tank.
I learned that they can bite holes through boats, and that's very scary.
Oh, so scary. I know. Ah. Too scary. Too scary. So is that the end of the article there?
That's the end. They were captured.
Oh,
They were
man.
captured. They were taken to a nice habitat.
Well, good for them. I mean, I always like it. Like, I don't want them to kill the hippos or whatever, but it's
No, and
also,
they had 6 months on the run. How romantic.
it would be so scary if you like kind of like stumbled out of a bar or something and there's just a hippo walking down the street and you're like, oh no! I have no way to defend myself against this hippo. Ugh, crazy, crazy. Stay away from hippos, guys. Stay away.
Yeah.
Don't
Yes.
do it. So I'll finish with a nice Florida article here.
Yay, Florida.
So this is from the Miami New Times, but this is actually a an older article, but it's still, it holds true for today. This is back in July 28th, 2016 by Greg Pittman. Now, Greg Pittman, he's a reporter for the Tampa Bay Times and he reports a lot for different news sources in Florida, and this is him just kind of looking back on all the weird Florida stuff he has seen over the years and reported on. So
Oh.
yeah, so
Oh.
Craig Pittman knows a thing or two about weird Florida. A native Floridian, the Tampa Bay Times reporter has spent his career wading through the wacky workings of the Sunshine State. His new book, Oh, Florida, How America's Weirdest State Influences the Rest of the Country, dives deep into the bizarre history and trends that Florida has inspired across the U.S. So, in advance of Pittman's appearance at Books and Books this Friday, I wonder if Books and Books is still around.
Oh, wasn't that in Gainesville?
I don't know. I don't know. This is a Miami newspaper talking to a guy from the Tampa area, so I don't know.
Oh,
That
I
reaches a little
don't know.
ways. New Times asked him about the weirdest Florida stories he's ever heard, and he didn't disappoint. So these are the 5 weirdest stories that this Florida reporter has reported on in his career, and the most recent would be like 2016.
Okay.
Okay, so number 1, the Cedar Key mayor who was disposed in a military coup.
Oh, a military coup?
Coup. Yeah, coup. Coup. Oops. Coup. Told you I'm dyslexic. So Cedar Key, it's that island.
Oh, yeah, I've been there once before, and there's, like, nothing
It's a
there.
very
I
bikery island. It's a neat little island. It's
Yeah.
very small. It's in the bay, or well, not. It's in the Gulf side of Florida, more up towards central Florida, not down in the Keys, but it's its own key. It's a barrier island, and there's another weird island like right near it that's just an uninhabited island. And what I learned when I was there is that used to be a leper colony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in like the 1800s.
Oh.
Yeah, when they used to just be like, I guess you gotta live on an island.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, that was
When we didn't know
sad.
how to treat people.
Sad.
Very sad. Very sad. So it says before dawn, May 17th, 1890, a U.S. Navy cutter landed a party of armed sailors at Cedar Key. Their mission, capture Mayor William Cottrell. He had been ruling the town as if he were an island dictator, even forcing people he saw on the street to headbutt one another at gunpoint.
What?
Cottrell had made the mistake of roughing up the federal customs inspector, so President Benjamin Harrison sent the Navy to dispose him. Cottrell evaded capture and fled, but later died in a shootout with a sheriff in Alabama.
Oh my goodness.
So that was back in 1890, so after the Civil War. right before the turn of the century. This guy kind of went rogue in Cedar Key, and then I guess I don't know. It inspired it to be I don't know what it is today.
What it is,
What it is, it's a neat little place to visit for
it's
sure.
a little place to visit.
It's
I'm
very
not a
small.
fan because like nothing about that place when I went there was wheelchair accessible. So
Yeah, I can imagine that it is.
so if you like quaint places that are not wheelchair accessible, then
Yeah, I
Cedar
can
Key's
see
your
that.
place.
I can see that. They also had the last time I was there, they had such like terrible like a bacteria bloom or in the water and you really couldn't go swimming.
Oh,
It's like the
yikes.
red tide stuff sometimes in the Gulf. Since the Gulf is so shallow and warm, sometimes just areas get like really bad like red tide years and it's just like, no, you can't go swimming or like you will get like an
Mm.
infection.
Oh gosh. Oh, gross.
Yeah, really bad. Um but really sucks for a beach town, am I right?
Okay. So,
Number two, the phony Key West count who loved transcended death. So I've heard of this one before. You tell me if you've heard of this one.
oh, I've heard of this one. Yes,
Yeah.
this freak monster weirdo.
Horrible.
Awful.
In 1930, a guy named Karl Tanzler was calling himself Count von Kassel. While working as an X-ray technician in Key West, he fell in love with a patient and his love transcended death. After she died, he dug up her body and lived with it for 9 years. Then the dead woman's sister found out and he was charged with grave robbing, but ultimately acquitted.
Ugh,
Not because he was innocent, because the statute of limitations had expired.
ugh, awful.
And this was just terrible. They never talk about like the woman in this.
Yeah.
It's so weird because like I've done the Key
Mhm.
West ghost tours and they're always like, was it the greatest love story ever? And it's like,
No.
no, it was this old nasty guy who was harassing. She was like 19 and she had TB and she was dying of TB and died very young and he was super gross.
And he was doing he was using a lot of experimental procedures on her.
Yeah, he told their family that he could cure her, and they were so desperate to get her,
Ugh.
well that they allowed him to. And he was just so like creepy and probably touchy with her. So like in her last days, this creepy old man is just
Oh,
like
it's awful.
all over
Ugh.
you. And then he paid, like they let him pay for her funeral in like this big mausoleum at the Key West graveyard because they didn't have a lot of money, and so they let him pay for it. But then he went in and like robbed her body and like then defiled it, and it was so gross. And her sister found out and was trying to get him arrested, and it's
Awful.
just awful. And then they couldn't prove it, but when they finally were able to get her put back in her grave, like it blew up. Somebody blew up the grave.
Oh my god.
And it's even weirder. He was building a rocket ship in his backyard to like put them in and like go to the stars. He was like legitimately very crazy
Yeah, really, really, just awful.
and just so gross. Like, so, again, you never talk about like the poor woman, and it's like,
No, Elena.
yeah. And she was like beautiful.
Elena de Hoyos. Yeah, and it's just awful because they were love. They use love. They're always like, "The love, the eternal love." And yeah, and it's just disgusting.
It's like, no, she didn't. He was a gross old man, and she wanted nothing to. And she thought she was like creepy and awful, and he just kept harassing her in her last days, which is just horrible.
Awful.
I always hated that story, but they always push it down there.
Ugh.
It is really weird. I mean, it is very weird and interesting, but I'm always like, it should come from the point of view as like, this guy was a disgusting monster.
Yeah, not like, "Ooh, look at this. His
Yeah,
love,
not like he loved her so much.
the love of the ages." It's like, gosh,
Yeah,
come
no,
on.
gross. Ugh. Ugh.
Yikes.
All right, number three, the wannabe mermaid who got in hot water in her Tampa area homeowners association. I actually heard of this one too.
I think I heard of this person.
So this was in 2013. A woman living in the Fishhawk subdivision near Tampa decided to practice her mermaid moves by wearing her prosthetic tail in the community pool. But the homeowners association told her to stop because the tail violated their no fins policy.
Oh.
And I'm kind of like, just let her wear the freaking tail, guys. Come on.
Just let her wear it.
If some woman, wants to dress up in her as long as she's not like, as long as the tail covers, like, I don't know, your privates, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think so too. Come on.
Let her and it's as long as it's not like a drowning hazard or something, just let the woman do her mermaid things. I know there are mermaid clubs and things like that where people wear their fins and go and swim together and pretend they're mermaids.
Yeah, and there's parties, like children's parties and stuff like that, or ambiance parties. People like to have mermaids.
Yeah, and I say just let people do what they want to do. It's not hurting anybody. As long as it wasn't like I'm not going to dig deeper into this one, but as long as she wasn't doing anything like, I don't know, like a little gross or something, like
lewd. Yeah.
Like she's like, I just wear my fin and like no top or something, and it's at like, the community pool. Maybe that's not great. I don't know. But I'm just riffing here. I don't know that she did any of that. I think if it's just no fins, these people need to, chill out a little bit. Let people have fins, okay?
I think so too.
Number 4 is the Gainesville man who used an alligator as a weapon.
As a go sick.
As a weapon.
Go attack?
Yeah. So in 2004, a man fighting with his girlfriend reached for a weapon to attack her. The weapon he grabbed, a 3-foot alligator he kept in his bathtub. Holding the tail, he swung the head at her. She was not injured, but the gator may have suffered psychological trauma. And I believe it. Like, poor gator.
Oh, it doesn't deserve that.
Poor gator. Number 5 is the Tallahassee llama that was tasered by cops.
Oh, gosh. Jeez.
In 2013, Leon County deputies trying to round up a runaway llama used their tasers to subdue it. That same weekend, Pasco County deputies used their tasers on a runaway kangaroo. Stop tasing the animals, guys.
Stop doing that. Yeah. Stop.
There's got to be a more humane way to deal with this. Also, why are all these animals running around and getting out?
Yeah.
Number 6 is the time the U.S. Postal Service asked us to stop hitting it.
What?
In 2012, so many people have crashed their cars into Florida post offices that the U.S. Postal Service ran ads asking everyone to please stop getting the brake and gas pedals confused.
What?
That's funny because in Pasadena, there's a cheesecake factory that's been crashed into twice. They need to probably do the same thing.
Oh no.
Number 7 is Meyer Lansky's reaction when a court ordered the shutdown of his Hallandale Beach casino. This happened in the 1930s. Lansky, probably the smartest guy in the mafia, studied the court order and then issued some orders of his own. The casino, known as the Plantation, was torn down. Then an exact duplicate was built on an adjacent piece of property in Hallandale Beach that wasn't covered by the court decision. The new place, dubbed The Farm, opened and everything went back to business as usual.
Well,
so there you go. So there you go. That's all of the stories that I feel like the last one was like not as intense as the others.
It went from intense to like lesser intense.
Yeah, maybe there's more to it. I don't know. Who knows? But there you go. Those are some odd stories that Craig Pittman has covered in his Florida career, and maybe it says something about us that we kind of recognize some of them, right?
Memorable moments.
Yeah. Super memorable. So there you go. You got a couple of biters in there. You got man bites dog and capybara bites kids.
Yeah, romantic hippos on the run.
Yeah, these Bonnie and Clyde hippos, just vagrants on the go. And some weird Florida to end it all there with you. And I think that's gonna do it for us today.
That's it.
That's it. So we've been the Florida Person Podcast. You can find this podcast anywhere you get podcasts, also on YouTube. Share with a friend. If you hated it, give it to an enemy. And tune in next week when we'll be going over more weird news stories.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Florida Person.
Florida.
Florida Person.
Florida.
Florida person.